Alright, welcome back to another Embrace Destiny video, everybody. Thank you so much for jumping in. KAZ PhD here. Today we're going to talk about mods, modifiers. Now, you probably know how modifiers work, but maybe you've missed a season or two. You've jumped in and out of Destiny and things change. Now, I'm going to make a video here in the early October, just before Beyond Light. Unfortunately, some of the information I'm about to tell you will become obsolete in November. But maybe you have a little bit of time and you want to know what the heck these mods are, how they work, what they do. So today is going to be as quick and as reliable as possible, a guide to the current mods in Destiny 2. So you can check out mods by going into the collections and the aptly named mods section. There are a number of armor and weapon mods. We're going to start with weapon and move back to armor. So there are a number of mods that you can put on weapons. They do a whole bunch of things involving either damaging enemies or improving the stability, the targeting, giving you more ammo. Each mod has a very specific function, and you should take a look at what they are and how they work. I meant to go back here. Okay, we'll talk about where to get mods in a minute. There are these blue ones down here. These mods are obtained during the season. See how it's a source seasonal artifact? Most of the time, mods that are related to the season that go for weapons are all about champions, right? If you've jumped out of the game for a long time, champions are a special enemy that usually show up during Nightfall ordeals, as well as certain stronger activities. And these champions have annoying shields or things that can be better taken out by using weapons with these mods. So every season, Bungie will rotate which weapons can use these mods, and you'll need to get them and equip them in order to do those higher level activities. Right? So play around with them. Lots and lots of guides out there. If you want, Fallout Plays is a good YouTuber who does videos on pretty much every mod, and is a good one to check out. And note that you cannot mod an exotic. You can only put mods on legendary weapons, so that's something to consider. When we jump over to armor mods, there are a lot. Obviously for the headpiece, arms, chest, legs, class, and in general. Okay? There are a whole bunch. Now, there are a number of systems within systems, because Destiny loves to work like that, and it can get a little confusing. Let's start with one simple truth. Generally speaking, mods that have to do with either targeting or with finding ammo are located in the helmet. See? Special ammo finder or targeting. Found in the helmet. Think about it this way. Where are your eyes? Your eyes are in your head. What do you do with your eyes? You look for more ammo, or you aim down sights to target your enemies. So the helmet are those mods, basically. Alright? Reloading mods generally go in the gauntlets, or whatever equivalent armor that you have. Easy to remember. How do you reload? With your hands. What kind of armor do you wear on your hands? There you go. There's a number of other ones as well, but most of the time, reloading mods are all here. You also have a few other specific ones depending on your armor type, but for the most part, it's all about reloading. The chest piece is all about aim. This one is a bit harder to make a metaphor around, but it's all about how stable you are, right? And when you do martial arts, they say that your core is the most stable part of you. So your chest piece, your chest piece armor is usually about having stability of aim, or by having higher reserves, meaning you can carry more of that ammo type. Your leg armor, it's all about dexterity as well as scavenger. Dexterity kind of makes sense. It's about movement. You got to run around. Here's an example. Enhanced sniper rifle dexterity. What that means is I can ready and put away this weapon much faster. So if you want stuff that can improve the handling, usually it's a dexterity mod that goes in your boots, funny enough. Or you can have a scavenger mod. These are very useful in the Crucible. Basically, it means that you can pick up a special or heavy or even primary, I think. Yeah. Whenever you pick up a brick of those kind, you actually get more bang for your buck. Instead of 1 bullet, you get 2, or instead of 2, you get 4, etc., etc. And finally, your class item. There are a number of different ones that go here. They're all very unique. Mostly, they're all about what happens if I, use my abilities or pick up an orb of light, right? So every time I pick up an orb of light, get a better melee, or reduce all my abilities, or it's also reduce all my abilities. So you'll need to read into them. How do you get mods? Most of them you get from different, you can basically, if you turn in enough tokens or items at a vendor, Shax, Zavala, Banshee, you can get some. But you also get them from higher level activities. Iron Banner, Nightfall Ordeals, I think even Trials. The more prestigious ones, the ones that say enhanced, or greatly enhanced or whatever, they are usually found, source, pinnacle, activity, packages. So pay attention to that. Right? So again, finding ammo or having better aim, reloading, stability and reserves, dexterity, being able to put the gun away or ready it faster, as well as scavenging ammo, and then stuff to enhance your abilities. On top of that, for class, you also have really special ones, things that that work with your finisher. So if you, here's one. If you use your finisher on an enemy, you use 1/3 of your super energy, but you generate special ammo for everyone. That could be useful if you're doing certain activities that require some ammo, right? You have healthy finisher. Finishers heal you. It requires 1/10 of your super energy, but you get your health back. So again, mix and match, play around with them. There are also special seasonal ones, and we'll talk about the season artifact in a moment. But basically, again, you can equip these onto your armor, and they will have special effects on them, and you can pick and choose. Currently, Oppressive Darkness makes all void grenades weaken enemies. It's one of the most powerful, damaging mods in the game this Season of Arrivals. Now, you probably think you know how mods work, because I've been such a good teacher and you've been such a good listener. Unfortunately, I'd be lying to you if I said that we were done. There are a number of mods in here. Alright, and each of them are different. Some of them aren't even going to be available anymore. It is a confusing mess. Let's take a moment and do something a little easier before we get back to that. I mentioned briefly the seasonal mods. Now, unless Bungie changes their mind in November, every season now we are getting a seasonal artifact. We are getting an item that has some lore and is related to the story, but it also gives us special options by leveling up. So basically, you start at 0 with 0 experience, and the more activities, usually bounties, but the more activities and things you do, the more experience you get, and you start unlocking the ability to choose mods. Now, unfortunately, you can only unlock 12 of them at a time. I actually have a mod that I could unlock, but I haven't picked one yet. I haven't chosen after all this time. But as you get more experience, you can start unlocking the mods. You can pick and choose what you want. If you get to the end and you're like, well, I'd really like to not have used this because I don't use hand cannons that much. You can reset the artifact, but it costs more every time you do it. So it's something to pay attention to. Currently in this season, the first row of mods are all about the mods to deal with champions. The second row is about, weapon modifications, things that make weapons just generally better. The third row is all about getting resources and equipment back by doing special kills or finishers. And then you start getting into the heavy hitters, right? That Oppressive Darkness I mentioned earlier is right here. There's a whole bunch of them. So you'll probably see some videos by your favorite content creators talking about which ones are the best, and you want to work toward them. I want to point out this mod right here. This mod is new this season, and it's very unique, and you'll see it's also a little confusing, and you'll see why. Unstoppable Pulse Rifle mod. But I also have Unstoppable Pulse Rifle mod right here. So what's the difference? Why would I go with this when I could go with this? Or vice versa? The reason is because this mod goes on pulse rifles. It is a pulse rifle mod that will make your pulse rifle hit unstoppable champions very hard and weaken them. But as I said earlier, you cannot put mods on exotics. This mod, as you can see, is an arms armor mod. So you actually put that on your gauntlets. And what that will do is it will make any pulse rifle, legendary or exotic, it will make them have unstoppable bullets. So if you have a legendary pulse rifle you want to use, maybe you just want to use this. But if you really like pulse rifles, especially exotics, and you want to switch between them or go with an exotic in higher level activities, feel free to check out a mod like this. This is a good system. I hope Bungie continues this going forward. I hope next season we have more of these that we could put on our armor so that we don't have to keep rotating out which thing we have, and so we can actually access exotic perks. Okay, finally, the general mods, the general armor mod section. This section is busy, it is chaotic, and unfortunately, in November, half of these mods at least are probably going to disappear or not be usable. Currently, mods can, not only are they assorted by energy type, but they also depend on when they came out. Simply speaking, if a mod is too old or too new compared with your armor, you may not be able to put them together. If you have a piece of armor from last year and you get a mod in Beyond Light, you probably cannot put that mod on that armor. And vice versa. If you have a mod from Shadowkeep and you get a cool piece of armor in Beyond Light, you probably cannot put them together. Unfortunately, many of these mods are going to disappear. I'm not going to go through each one, but I'm going to go through each category so you have a better understanding of where they came from and what they are. You have the general ones, right? Which are all about improving your main stats or improving your resistance to either certain energy types or energy or enemy types, right? These ones are kind of standard. They're not going to go away. Great. These ones down here, they're from the Garden of Salvation raid. As you can see, I've only done Garden once and I got one mod. Woo! Each of them are very particular. They help you do that raid better. You can read through them. The more you do the raid, the more of them you'll get. They are very useful. Then you start moving into these ones, which I believe will still be available because they are tied to Shadowkeep. The main challenge of Shadowkeep were something called Nightmare Hunts. They're like strikes. You go in, you fight a boss, but you can get certain mods that will make you either deal more damage to them or take less damage from them. And again, they're all tied to the element. And again, they can only go on certain armor pieces, but you can go farm them, you can go work on them, you can get them done, and they will make Nightmare Hunts a little bit easier for you. So you can see we're moving from general to garden to the moon for Shadowkeep. Then we move to the Dreaming City. Right? With the Dreaming City, whenever you completed certain bounties or certain activities, you could be rewarded mods. See? Complete activities in the Dreaming City. Essentially, most of the armor that you get will come with this. Riven's Curse. You deal more damage in the Dreaming City, but you also take more damage. And as you improve, you can earn a Transcendent Blessing, which removes the negative portion of the curse. So here it just says you can do more damage in the Dreaming City. You can also do the Last Wish raid and get a bunch of these mods. These should not be going away. There are a number of chests and things you can get in the raid without even actually doing the raid. So be sure to check out some guides on how to do that. You can spawn in, pick up a chest once a week, and maybe have a chance. I've been neglecting to do that, which is why I don't have any of the mods. Next, you get mods from the Menagerie and Scourge of the Past. These are activities that are going away in Beyond Light, but right now they are... Menagerie is a 6v6 activity, you're probably aware, and Scourge of the Past is a raid. There's a lot of mods for that. Then you start moving into the seasonal mods. So we've got Opulence. Season of Opulence was when... Okay, actually that's from Crown of Sorrow raid. Then you move into Season of Dawn. Now, you might be thinking, well, it's not Season of Dawn, KAZ, what do I care about these mods? Well, depending on how they're going to work going forward, Banshee still sells old mods. Once a week, every week he'll sell a different mod, and you can maybe buy them and maybe use them depending on how Bungie decides to deal with these mods. Now, these ones are kind of confusing. You got some that are green and some that are yellow. So here's how this works. The green mods from Season of Dawn and later seasons, they make you charged with light, or I believe as it's going to be called in November, charged with power. So if you do a special condition, if you fulfill the condition of the green mod, you will become charged with power. And then if you use a different mod, you can use that power. So simply speaking, you need at least one green mod on one piece of armor and one yellow mod on one piece of armor to make use of the charged with light or the charged with power benefit. So here's a really easy example. I currently use Taking Charge and High Energy Fire. Taking Charge. Become charged with light by picking up orbs of light. Every time I pick up an orb of light, a little notification on the left side of my screen says charged with light times 1. Or just charged with light. And I use this mod right here while charged with light. Gain a bonus to weapon damage. And every time you defeat someone, you lose 1 stack. Well, this is great. If you're doing some strikes, you're doing some PvE activities, or maybe you're in the Crucible, somebody drops orbs of light, or you make them with a masterworked weapon. You run over and you pick up that orb. You are now charged with light. And if you're using this mod, while charged with light, you basically have Rampage or ×2 on your weapon. So this is awesome. You know, I'll run around maybe in a Crucible match. I don't have my super. My teammates do. They take out an enemy. They drop an orb of light. I pick it up. Even if my super's full, I get charged with light. And then I can run around with a really high energy weapon until I kill someone or until I die. So again, you need at least 1 green and 1 yellow. Green makes you charged if you fulfill the condition. And yellow basically consumes your charged with light, granting you some kind of condition. And again, these mods are sometimes sold from Banshee and others. The only other special thing to remember about these mods is that some of them have extra conditions. Example, this one. See at the bottom the part that is kind of grayed out? If you look at the top, if you put this mod on your armor and you put another arc-based mod, see it's arc, you will unlock the secondary condition. Now I know that's a lot, but remember, you've got mods from different activities and they will say where they are from. Sometimes they are sold from Banshee. The Season of Dawn and later that are green and yellow. Green makes you charged. Yellow gives you some benefit by being charged. You need one of each, and unfortunately you can't put them on the same armor piece. You put one on one armor piece, one on another. Now, I checked out something earlier today. You can actually put multiple green mods on multiple pieces of armor. So as an example, you could put these two. You could put on one armor piece, you have Charged with Light, taking charge. Become charged with light by picking up an orb. But maybe that only happens every so often. You can also put Shield Break. Become charged with light by breaking enemy shields with their same energy. So if they use a Void Shield, you use a Void Gun, you become charged with light. You can use as many green ones as you want to make yourself charged with light, but you can only use one red one. Or sorry, yellow, red. That's going to go in the video. I'm not editing that out. You can only use one yellow one because it's one specific bonus. After Season of Dawn, we moved into Season of Worthy with the Warmind cells. These ones are a little bit different. They do have the Charge of Light mechanic, but the way that these basically work is, if you put one of these kinds of mods on yourself, then anytime you use a 7th Seraph weapon, you have a chance to drop a Warmind cell. So let's say you got the auto rifle or the shotgun or the SMG from Season of Worthy, right? And you have this mod on. Defeating somebody with that weapon has a chance to drop a Warmind cell. Warmind cells are little red orbs that fall on the ground, and at the very least, you can shoot them, they'll blow up, and they'll hurt the enemies around you. But there's many other things you can do with them. Some of them will let you pick up the Warmind cell. Some of them will let you heal when you kill a Warmind cell. So you got to read through each one carefully. Again, they're all tied to specific armor types, but there's a lot of crazy things you can do. You can run around with a SMG and drop Warmind cells all over the place, and every time they blow up, they reach further, and maybe they heal you, and maybe they give your allies melee abilities, right? There's a whole bunch of things that you can do. You can even pick up the Warmind cell and move them or throw them, do whatever. So experiment around. And there's a number of different ones that you can go with. So, that is a full video on the mod system as it currently works in Season of Arrivals just before Beyond Light. If you're wondering what's likeliest to change, well, probably a lot of these mods will either go away or be unobtainable. You can maybe find them in random places and put them on old armor. Now you know how they work, but they're not going to be dropping anywhere. They're only going to be found in random places. The weapon mods are pretty standard. They probably won't change too much. The seasonal mods will, and you'll need to keep an eye on your seasonal artifact to tell you which mods to use or which mods are available to use against champions and the like. So, that concludes this video. Thank you all very much for watching. I know it was a bit of a long one. I'm going to put notes in the description. If you want more videos like that, be sure to subscribe and do all that YouTube stuff if you want. And if you want to join the community or catch the recording of these videos live, I've got a link down to my Discord and my Twitch below. Thank you all very much for watching, Guardians. As always, be safe, be kind, and we'll see you all next time. Bye now.